Welcome in, everyone. We're back with a brand new episode of Audionots. Hot, fresh, right out the oven. Tasty cakes for everyone. We're excited to have you back. We're hoping you'll keep listening and maybe tell some of your friends and families. To let you know that we're on Anchor, Spotify, Radio Public. You can listen in all those places. I think we're coming to Apple Music pretty soon. We're also can be found on the social medias. Facebook and Twitter at Audionots. And Audionots is spelled audio, then N-O-T-S, knots, like we're not good at audio. That's kind of how we went with it. And then on Instagram, we're Audionots Podcast. I'm super excited today to say hello. My name is Eric Oldboy. I'm here with the myth, the man, and the legend, Ren.
That's me.
That's him. I'm real excited. You know why I'm excited?
Why are you excited?
I'm super excited about The Mandalorian.
So you watched it?
Dude, yeah, I watched it. Did you watch it?
I watched it, and after I watched it, I watched people watching it to explain stuff.
Oh, and we have Ren and I have a friend that is, we might have to bring him on one day as a guest. He's a next level Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of cool talking to him. So you're going to hear some of his knowledge pass through our amazing vocal cords. But this guy, he was able to fill in a lot of gaps on the Mandalorian culture,
right,
the mythology, and those sorts of things. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off by talking about how much we like the Mandalorian. It's a fantastic show. In fact, have you heard of erectile dysfunction?
Yes.
Well, this show gives me erectile function. It is functioning. My Star Wars pants are tight.
Super tight.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about this thing. So we'll go spoiler free for the first few minutes, and then maybe Ren's been working on some sound effects. Maybe we'll drop a Star Wars sound effect in, and you hear that thing, we'll know we're going spoilers. So just be ready for that. The Mandalorian, for those who haven't checked it out, is a brand new television show on Disney Plus, the new streaming network. It takes place, I think we mentioned it last episode. What did we decide? How many years after Return of the Jedi?
I think when I was kind of researching, it was about 5 or more years.
5 or more years.
Yeah.
So 5 or more years after Return, maybe 20-something years before Force Awakens.
Right.
So that's kind of the timeline. We're introduced like right away. What I liked about the beginning of the show is they didn't waste any time jumping into it. So
Nope.
we're introduced right away to the Mandalorian.
But once when he got into a screen, I'm like, this is gonna be good. You could feel it in your bones, in your midichlorians.
Your midichlorians were all perked up.
Yeah.
Well, what was kind of neat, and before we get into the spoilers, is what I really liked about the show in general was they use a lot of practical effects. So sure, they have some special effects. You can see it in like the spaceships and things like that. And some of the monsters were definitely CGI.
Right.
But it reminded me so much of that original trilogy where there was just costumed characters doing their thing, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and you notice that little monster that Jabba the Hutt had, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he was like the little like jester thing where he's supposed to make Jabba.
He was like his little side thing.
They always like scream and laugh.
Yeah.
And you see him, a little puppet version of him, like, oh man,
There were a couple of them.
Yeah, it's really nostalgic for me to see that and like, okay, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, I liked it too, because not only did you see him, but we saw a lot of different characters that I think, because I remember yesterday, last podcast,
right,
I was saying I better see some robots. I want some droids, and sure enough, like right away we saw an R2D2 looking droid flying a land speeder.
Yeah, it was like a yellow one.
Yeah, and then we saw couple other aliens and creatures that were very familiar to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, because they kind of started off, you know how he goes into the little cantina?
Yeah.
So it really reminded me of when they show Han in the cantina.
Right.
Yeah. So
who shot first?
Yeah. We may never know. Well, we know who he did, but
well, we know who shot first.
Yeah.
George Lucas changed about 85 different times, but yeah, that's why Han Solo was a BA, because he was willing to shoot first and still be the good guy.
Yep. And it's funny, we saw one of those, the one that he shot. I forget what they're called, but one of their creature was in that scene too.
Which one?
in the cantina scene, the one he shot, the little
right,
dude.
the Greedo. I don't know. Greedo's his name, so I'm not sure what his alien race is.
But it was like he was in there too, so it's like an homage of it. That's pretty cool.
That was really cool. I think that I want to start talking about more details. So if you haven't seen the show and you're super interested in hearing about it, or don't want to know any of the details, tune out for a few minutes, and we'll let you jump back in a minute. But let's talk about the details.
All right. So spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Star Wars effect. Yes. The show starts off with the Mandalorian, coming in. We learn right away about some of his armor. Our friend who's a Star Wars nut told us all about how that armor works. What was he saying?
He was saying that it was a very rare metal, right?
It's a really high-end metal, and he was saying that the Mandalorians kind of collected over time to build up their armor.
Yeah, that's why in the episode you can see him getting the little shoulder pad, and you can see that he only has that for now. So maybe throughout the series he might be getting more as he earn his Mandalorian status.
Right. You said it reminded you of like an RPG game.
Yeah, like an RPG game, you gotta level up your character to get more armor and stuff like that. So it was really cool that way too.
Yeah, and then our Star Wars friend was also saying that Jango Fett, when they showed him last in one of the movies, that guy was decked head to toe.
Yeah, he was the Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah.
He had all the dope ass armor. Like he was the full 100 level RPG Mandalorian.
Is that why they chose him to become the clone?
Maybe because he would just like Mandalorians are all like really intense bounty hunters you can count on, and he was just like the best of that group. Right. I mean, the best of the best.
And you make clones of him, because you have thousands of him.
Right. So let me ask you this: in the prequel movies, we learned that they made clones from Jango Fett.
Yes.
And those all were killed off, though, along the way, right? None of those exist by the time we're watching this Mandalorian. There's no chance that this Mandalorian was a clone.
Well, I don't know, because if you look at The Force Awakens, right, they mention that the clones
never really went away.
Yeah.
Maybe it was underground.
Right. And so maybe, how that scene where Mandalorian goes in and meets the villain of the show, you would say?
Yeah.
And you see those stormtroopers all
the dirty ass stormtroopers.
So it makes you wonder, are those clones too of Jango Fett that's been there this whole time? Yeah.
Part of me was thinking when I saw the dirty stormtroopers as they just got their asses kicked in Return of the Jedi. They just had who knows what planet these guys were on? Maybe they're always on this planet and the Death Star just got blown the hell up.
Right.
And they're almost like hiding out. They're like they're like not in power anymore at this point. And so that German guy that's kind of like the de facto bad guy so far, he's a good actor. I like him. He had some presence to him.
Yeah, because you already tell him this guy's the bad guy.
Yeah, like immediately you're like, okay, this guy's the bad guy. He reminded me of the bad guy from Inglourious Bastards. Remember that German guy? Like immediately, like, okay, this guy, he's a big time bad guy. But yeah, so the Mandalorian, after he gets kind of his marching orders, they pay him in that the fancy metal chunk, which he turned. I was confused a little bit. Maybe you paid better attention than me. When he took the metal chunk in to get it melted down, and it was made partially into his armor, the lady said also this is going to help a lot of families or children or something. So we're only melting some of it to become his armor, and the rest of it they're going to help pay for other Mandalorian people.
Maybe.
Did you see that, or did I dream it?
Well, she said that maybe, and he didn't use the whole thing. And remember the bad guy German dude said this is only a partial payment.
Oh,
so he has more of those metal.
Yeah, it almost sounded like it was like a treasure chest of them. Yeah. Like after he completes his mission, that they just have like a literal like spaceship load full of these metal chunks.
Yeah, that metal thing. One of my friends said it reminded me of like vibranium from Marvel.
Right, yeah. This is the Star Wars vibranium.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
What's the metal that Black Panther does? Is that vibranium?
Yeah,
same thing, right?
Yeah, vibranium.
What's Wolverine's claws?
Adamantium.
Yeah, man, so many fake metals.
Yeah, because this metal. One thing, did we say that our friend said that lightsabers can't cut through it.
That's right. Yeah. So supposedly part of the reason the Mandalorians like this metal is because of how strong it is.
Yeah.
And one of the things is it actually can deflect a lightsaber, which is incredible because we've seen lightsabers lop people in half.
Right. If only he had it for his arm, right? When that Berg, whatever thing's called, freaking ate, like, bit his arm.
Right.
I thought he was going to rip his arm off of it. You know.
Or like our Star Wars buddy said, if only Jango Fett had it around his neck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the show has amazing practical effects, looks great. The Mandalorian collects his payment, and then he moves on. And we don't know at this point yet who he's searching for, because even when he asks what the mark is, basically they're like, we're not going to tell you. All we can give you is the birth date and kind of a location. You can use this locator. And the birth date turned out to be about 50 years of age.
Right.
And so were you at that point where you're trying, because when I watch shows like this, especially in a field of shows that I'm really into, I'm immediately trying to guess how this is going to tie into things I've seen before.
Yeah, I'm just doing the math. 50 years, is that when Anakin was small, or how does this time frame work out? Yeah,
and I was trying to be like, okay, 50 years of age, is it going to be like a side character they could almost replace and be someone new? And so it was exciting to see. And then he went on. We also forgot to mention that before he went into the German guy, he met with Apollo Creed himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, old Apollo Creed just trying to make some stew. And Apollo Creed didn't have enough, good bounty hunting stuff to go. So he recommended him going to this kind of darker end of town to talk to the German bad guy.
Right.
And so from there, it kind of led to him flying somewhere. It was a whole new planet that he went to, kind of using this tracking device. Yeah. And that's when he ran into that guy that I really liked. He was all practical effects. It was a full-blown costume. I have spoken.
Right, that guy.
That guy. And he's like trying to teach him to ride one of those sperms with legs. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny because my wife said when we first saw it, she's like, dude, that looks like a freaking T-Rex, but his face is like a piranha.
Yeah, that's like, such a good description.
Yeah, and then she's like, you should call it a Piranhasaurus Rex. It's like, that's so spot on.
Dude, the Piranhasaurus Rex is amazing. Trademark Ren, do not take that. That's so good.
I'm going to make a t-shirt out of it.
Yeah, that's a t-shirt on the way. You have to watch for that. Maybe we'll plug. Ren also has his own TeePublic store. We'll plug that later.
Oh, yeah.
But so Tyrannosaurus, he has to ride the Piranhasaurus Rex. And that's another thing we learned from our Star Wars geek is that apparently Mandalorian, the culture in general in the past, were known for riding a dinosaur called the Mythosaurus.
Right.
And I looked it up because I'm like, I don't know what a Mythosaurus is. My Star Wars knowledge is pretty good, but I never really dove too deep into the books, the graphic novels, or even the comics.
Or as he would say, the lore.
The lore.
To him, we're considered new blood Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And he's like into the books, into the expanded universe. So this guy is like full of knowledge.
He's the bane of Star Wars, right? He was born into it while the rest of us are just pretending.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We only adopted
it. Yeah, so he meets the guy with the cool Piranhasaurus Rex things, and we learn that, at least from our friend, that apparently Mandalorian used to ride these Mythosauruses, and I looked it up, and it basically looked like a dragon without wings from the illustrations that they've kind of shown. And I think as far as the cinematic portion of it goes, we'd only seen the skeletons of them here and there.
Oh, yeah. And that skeleton is, the head of it is the symbol for the Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's like the Mandalorian logo.
Yeah.
Which is cool as heck. Right. In fact, someone said, and I didn't notice it because, like I said, I must not pay enough attention when I'm watching things. I'll have to watch this thing again. But I was told by another person who watched it that there was, in the backdrop, when he was dropping off that chunk of metal to get melted down, there was a Mythosaurus skull on the wall.
On the wall?
Yeah.
Dang, I need to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, now that I know it's there, it's like, that's kind of a cool thing. Now that I know what a Mythosaurus is, I want to look for it more. It's all coming together. The whole idea of it being their logo or their symbol, it's pretty neat. And then they kind of led into the fact, and this is another thing that our Star Wars historian was telling us, is that the Mandalorian originally were their own kind of race. And as their race kind of fell apart, they started adopting new people by pulling like orphans and things like that, and letting them kind of learn their ways.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that's what we saw in some of the flashbacks.
Yeah, because you could see him like remembering when he, lost his parents or something. He became an orphan, so he was adopted by the Mandalorian, become a Mandalorian.
Right. Yeah. And so he's kind of become a Mandalorian. So after we see him kind of figure out riding the Tyrannosaurus Rex, him and the weird little guy, they go and start searching out, and they find that kind of, it's like a
base, right?
Desert base or something, and they're spotting down there, and quickly the Mandalorian realizes that there's company, there's somebody else.
Yeah.
We see Instagram 11 or IG 11 is he's called.
He is one of my favorite characters in the show right now, because he's like a BA Western shooting, just everywhere, and it's like nonstop. And his voice actor is what's his name?
Walkie Talkie.
Yeah, that's what we call him.
Wakita. I can never pronounce his name, but the guy that directed Thor.
Yeah.
And what else has he made? He's made that new Jojo Rabbit movie.
He was in Green Lantern.
He was as an actor. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an actor and a producer and director. Not only did he direct the last Thor, he was the weird rock monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his voiceover was hilarious, man.
That guy's good. He makes everything great. I need to learn how to pronounce his name because he deserves that respect. Right. Takeda Wakati or something.
Walkie Talkie.
Yeah, we jokingly call him Walkie Talkie because we're idiots mostly. But yeah, so have we seen an IG-11 in previous things? Because our Star Wars historian acted like they've been kind of throughout history of this stuff, and like I said, I don't pay enough attention, I guess.
He said that in one of the movies, like 5 or 6, there was one in there.
Yeah, and he said at that point they were on Model 80, which means there's probably thousands of these things roaming around. So maybe as cool as it was, I almost felt instantly bad when we lost that character.
Yeah. But if you look at the cover art of the show, he's in it, right? So that means he's one of the main characters, probably.
Yeah, all I can figure out is if he's basically a bounty hunting robot, there's probably more bounty hunting robots.
Or maybe he gets fixed.
Maybe. I mean, he did. So we're kind of jumping ahead a little because we're so excited about the IG-11. So the Mandalorian ends up getting a little gunfight with IG-11 at first until they do like almost all good superheroes do. They fight each other and it's like, let's fight everybody else together.
There's a greater threat.
Yeah, and they decide to split the bounty and get the 50-year-old that's hiding inside this base together because this show is amazing. It felt so much like an old Western.
Yeah.
Maybe they should start James Dean. Throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it felt like an old Western, and I think that's what I liked about it. It's definitely like a space Western is what I would call this show. And they get into this fight, and the amount of bad guys with pew, pew, pew lasers is incredible. I mean, I love that scene.
And it's like, it was funny. There's action, and it's just good, overall good.
It felt like the original Star Wars in an hour-long television show, and I can't tell you how excited I am the fact that I get to experience this once a week every Friday for seven more weeks. Is it? Do you know if it's an 8-episode season, a 10-episode?
I heard it was 8 episodes. 8
episodes. So we got 7 more weeks of this. I'm figuring the way Disney's going to do it is as soon as they hit the end of this is when we'll probably get the Falcon and who is he with?
Winter Soldier.
Yeah. The Winter Soldier guy, because I think that's their next big time original,
and hopefully they get season 2.
I hope so.
Just keep going, please.
Yeah, I read that Disney had since Tuesday had over 10 million subscribers, which is like really incredible. So that's good on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so IG and the Mandalorian, they team up. They finally blast through this 6 jillion bad guys. And they break into the building finally using almost like a
laser
Gatling gun.
Right?
Yeah, which is just dope all in its own. So they use this laser Gatling gun to kind of carve open the door. And then if you're still listening and you haven't seen it yet, this is on you. But the big discovery at the end is that the 50-year-old is a baby.
Yep.
And it's not just any baby. It's like a Yoda style baby.
It's a baby Yoda.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Yoda race is. I think it starts with a Y too, but I'm not like Yellen or Yallen. I forget what Yoda is. Obviously, it's not Yoda, the character that we know and love.
It looks like Yoda though.
Right. So it's the same. It's the same species as Yoda, because Yoda at this point in the timeline is long and dead. He died in the previous movie.
Yeah.
He's just a Force ghost.
Right.
But the one thing that I got real excited about, and I think you noticed it too, was I think that this is a Force loaded Yoda.
Yeah, because at the very end they got like a little ET moment, right? They're like touching fingers.
Well, his crib.
Yeah.
Like the way my mind worked when I first saw it, I thought, oh, the crib itself, when we were in space, maybe the crib flies around like a little spaceship.
Yeah.
But I think the Yoda was controlling the crib via Force, like making it float.
Yeah.
And they did that little finger touch.
Yeah, baby's 50 years old. He must have learned some kind of like Force, right?
And that kind of goes along with the timeline we know of the Yoda we already know. Because he was like 900 something. Or
he's like 1,000, right?
I don't remember. He was crazy old by the time Luke kind of came around him. And just previous to the Mandalorian discovering the baby, him and IG-11 have a disagreement.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. We were talking about this earlier. So we saw earlier in the show, the Mandalorian was told specifically to bring back the Mark alive.
Right. The doctor said to bring it alive.
Right.
But the bad guy German dude said
he didn't care.
Yeah,
He's either
whatever,
way.
you know.
And then we thought that he was the only one being paid to do this. And then we find out that IG-11's been paid to also get him. But what they hired him to do was specifically to kill the Mark. He was supposed to kill it.
Yep.
And so they got into just a very short argument before the Mandalorian kind of ended the argument.
Yep.
And we said bye,
Straight
walkie-talkie.
to the head.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it ended. I noticed that, I don't know if it's going to be the same with all Disney shows. There wasn't like a preview of the next episode.
No, I kind of fast forward. Hopefully there's like a preview.
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited for it.
Right.
But I didn't see any.
I'm almost wondering if that's like a streaming thing. I haven't noticed. Do you remember, did they ever do previews of like Stranger Things?
I don't know. I never really checked.
I don't think they did. HBO used to do a preview of the next Game of Thrones, but technically HBO started off as a cable company. You know,
Yeah,
they were a cable channel.
Because you know, like Netflix, when you're watching it, right, and then the show ends, and then the next one starts in like 5 seconds.
Right, it just kicks on. Because Netflix always gave us the binge worthiness.
Yeah.
I don't even mind though that Disney's gone the opposite way and said, you know, you what fools, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
You don't need to watch the whole damn thing in one night. Because, you know, an idiot like me would have. I probably would have stayed up and watched the whole thing. But now I have something to look forward to because it comes out every Friday, which means it comes out tomorrow. We're broadcasting today. It's Thursday. So it's only like a few days from when we watched the first one.
Are we gonna like start the show off with Mandalorian talk every time?
Shoot, if that's the way it works out, it doesn't hurt my feelings. You're like, welcome to the Mandalorian hour.
You know, one of my favorite things about this show is how Jon Favreau, he is like a nerd too, right? So he's a fan of Star Wars and he's a good director too. And so he takes like all this like little traits and little stories, little, what do you call it, like history,
right,
and brings it to life, right? Because we don't know anything about the Mandalorian culture, but he brings it to life. About the Yoda culture, the Yoda race, he brings it to life too. And so he's bringing all this that, you know, Star Wars fan, they're so excited about. He brings it to this show to make it. And it's not based on any book or graphic novel.
All new information.
And so we can't spoil ourselves and, you know, go ahead and see what happens. You know, like usually books is based on a book, so you know what's gonna happen.
Or like a lot of the other streaming shows I like the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
I really like that, but it was based on a graphic novel.
Yeah, so
and if you wanted to, you could know what was going to happen.
And this one is it's John's little baby, right? He made it.
Right. I think when I was watching it, the credits gave him writing, producing, directing.
Yeah.
Like his name popped up like 5 or 6 times. It was incredible.
So you can't spoil it at all. You just got to wait.
Right.
And that anticipation makes like it even better once it comes out.
Yeah, and he's really, I think where Jon Favreau has really succeeded in his career is he's clearly into the nerdy stuff like we are. He likes all this kind of comic book culture, and he killed it with, you know, Iron Man and those movies.
Right.
Even Elf is one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. He's the director of that.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Elf is number one Christmas. No, wait. Yeah.
Man, let's save that. That's hot Christmas talk. We'll save that for maybe a future episode.
Yeah.
We will break down maybe our top 5. I might have to break down top 10 because I'm a little obsessive over Christmas movies.
Yeah, I think Elf's my number 2.
Funny, you'll have to wait and find out later.
Yeah.
That's exciting, a little teaser. But yeah, Jon Favreau, he's knocking it out of the park. And I think that's one thing that Disney has done super well is they've hired people that are actually into the content. They're not just there to make a bunch of money.
Right.
Like Walkie Talkie, he clearly is a fun guy. He likes that kind of stuff. His Thor movie was amazing. The guy that runs Marvel Cinematic Division, Kevin Feige, he's clearly into all this stuff. And in fact, what I'm excited about is he's taking over running the Star Wars Cinematic Universe. So I'm hoping he really dials it in because
that should have happened sooner.
I agree.
Before episode 7.
Yeah, I think that so everyone
8.
knows. Ren and I both dislike is even a little harsh. Ren and I didn't like the last Star Wars.
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi as well as The Force Awakens. And I know a lot of people do. A lot of people liked it. For me, I felt like Rian Johnson was the exact opposite of kind of a Jon Favreau kind of guy, or even a J.J. Abrams, where I don't think that he connected to the material the same way. He's just not a big a fan.
Right.
And he went in there, he just unstripped everything JJ had set up and was kind of like, screw it.
He made like its own little one-off movie, you know? Sort of thing.
It kind of really PO'd me because I was so excited to see all these things happen, and JJ was clearly setting something up, and this guy just knocked all the things down before they even got started.
Yeah, for example, JJ set up Rey to be the main protagonist, right?
Right.
And then in The Last Jedi, she was like a no-show.
I know. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Or that Kylo Ren was, he had this mask and it was all part of his identity, and like right away he breaks it because I think that Rian Johnson didn't like the mask.
And guess what? The mask is back.
Yeah. As soon as they ditch Rian Johnson, they bring back JJ for this next one. All of a sudden they've welded the mask back, made it even more badass looking.
Yeah. I'm
pretty excited about that too. But yeah, that's our hot Mandalorian talk. Those of you who have tuned out can tune back in. I've been watching. We had the nerdiest television night ever. My son and I have a 14-year-old son. We'll call him Kid Danger. His middle name is actually Danger.
True story.
Yeah, true story. Yeah. My wife was a little too knocked out with her birthing meds, and I'd signed the birth certificate that way. So Kid Danger and I were watching. We watched The Mandalorian first because I couldn't wait, and then we jumped right into Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big
season
Rick and Morty.
4?
Yes, season 4. The only down thing I have about Rick and Morty is it takes so long between seasons. It was like 2 years.
Yeah. At the very beginning, they even show you how long it took from like season 3 to season 4.
And it's not because of the animation. The animation quality is fine, but it's not. It doesn't look like it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, even I could draw it, right?
Right, exactly. Vigilante can make you your own Rick and Morty animation if you need. But I think what it is they take a lot of care and time in these stories. And people that don't like Rick and Morty or don't get into it, I don't think they're going to recognize how genius some of the stuff is.
Yeah, the writing is like phenomenal.
Yeah, the episode was incredible. It was funny. I mean, it was really funny. But the concept is so good. They take all the tropes that you see in sci-fi and horror and these kind of different space and
anime.
Time. Yeah, anime. Yeah, this one very heavily leaned on anime to where they even joked about it at the end. You're more the anime guy than me.
Yeah, it's like a nod to a old anime, Akira.
Yeah.
They even say, "Don't turn my son into Akira again." Did
you ever watch Akira originally?
It was like before my time.
Yeah,
it's very big. I've never seen it myself.
Right,
but I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
But the concept of this episode was so funny to me. The fact that basically right at the beginning, you had to remember because it's been so long that Rick and Morty were having their issues, and the parents had kind of made Rick agree that he wouldn't just force Morty into these crazy adventures, and that they would have to talk it over. And he's getting all pissed off right at the beginning, like that he has to ask nicely for Morty to go with him.
Right.
And so their first adventure is hunting for this death crystal or something. And Morty right away is like, "Oh, Rick, are we gonna die if we touch this death crystal?" And he's like, "No, Morty, you stupid idiot!" What it does is it helps you when you hold these crystals. You can see impending death, is what it is. And so I'd guess someone like the Mandalorian would probably love a death crystal because you know when not to engage in a situation.
Yeah.
So
you see your death.
Yeah, right away you can see when you're gonna die, and it shows you all the opportunities. 'Cause the fact of the matter is, you could die probably 100 times a day,
Right.
and this is giving you an exact look of don't do that because that's the way you're gonna die.
Well, the way Morty used it was like a compass, right?
Yes.
To where you go up, down, left, or right, and then you kind of go towards where you want to go. So that was pretty funny. And he wanted to die with his like crush, right?
Yeah, his girl crush from school.
And so he had to go that route the whole time.
And the crystal was totally controlling kind of pretty much everything he was doing.
Right.
And along the way, because of that, he accidentally kills Rick.
Yeah. It was a gruesome death too. I was like, oh man.
It was surprising, but we've seen Rick kill a lot of Mortys. We've seen a lot of dead Mortys over time. So
Yeah.
it was nice to see Morty get his kind of revenge by accident.
Right.
And so, but then Rick, of course, Rick's a genius. He's smarter than all of us combined. He's already got a plan and brings back like a hologram version of himself. Right. And so the hologram's trying to convince Morty to knock it off, and then the real Rick keeps basically being regenerated into different dimensions as other Ricks.
Well, hologram Rick told Morty to bring back Rick by getting this DNA.
Yeah.
But then by bringing back Rick, he won't have his happy ending, so he didn't do it.
Right, because he was so fixated on dying with his true love.
Right.
And so, since Rick can't be regenerated on the spot, he starts automatically regenerating in different Ricks in different dimensions.
Right.
And so, what was funny to me is like half of them were fascists. Every time he'd come back, there'd be some sort of fascist. And then one time he came back, was it a lobster or a shrimp?
Which one? It was
did
shrimp.
both?
Yeah, it was shrimp first.
He came back as either the lobster or the shrimp, and he's like, "Oh, at least you're not a fascist." And it turns out that they were like a shrimp fascist.
Yeah. And then after that, he comes back as a wasp.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then they were eating the mailman guy.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
And then the mailman guy gets like little baby caterpillars, and then. What did they say? Like, ooh, extra bonus or something like that.
Oh yeah, it spit out a bunch of babies, and they quickly consumed the babies.
Run!
Yeah, that's why Rick and Morty is great. And I read that they were signed for 7 more seasons.
Yeah, keep them coming, dude.
Yeah, and I think they only do like 8 episodes. They've all kind of fallen into this kind of 8 to 10 episode season arcs on pretty much any show. And that's one of the things, though. Rick and Morty, I think Cartoon Network is owned by the HBO Paramount Group. So Rick and Morty is also moving to HBO Max when that streaming service comes out. So that's another reason maybe to go HBO Max.
That's coming out next year, right?
Yeah, next year.
So
I think March.
So do you think this season's going to end?
Yeah, from what I read, we'll get all of this season. But if you want to wait another 2 years to see season 5, you'll only be able to see on the HBO Max.
Right.
Along with Friends. I read that they got the exclusive rights to Friends, which is going to make my kids happy because they're obsessed with Friends.
Yeah, because everyone's throwing a fit when they said that they were going to take it off of Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is none of these shows are ever going away. Just how willing are you to either A, follow the show and get rid of current service for new service, or B, just start stacking services.
Well, the thing is, like, for example, Friends, right? Don't you guys own the DVD set?
We do.
Yeah. But how hard is it for you to open up the DVD, put it in, and play?
Oh, that's way too hard.
Too much work, right?
That's too much work. I mean, we live in the future, my friend, where I can just push a button. Or even better, I can grab my Fire Stick and be like, Alexa, play Friends, and then it just kicks on,
Yeah.
So that's
first world problems.
Yeah, we have serious first world problems, yeah. But yeah, so HBO Max seems like they're doing a pretty good job of already kind of like loading their channel. Way better than I think Apple TV's done so far. Have you watched any more of that C show?
I finished episode 4.
Yeah, I've seen up to episode 4.
So that's
as well.
the latest one, right?
I think the show comes out. Maybe it comes out on Fridays as well. I have no
Friday,
idea. Friday seems to be where it's at for sci-fi futuristic shows.
So we'll get it tomorrow too.
Yeah, and what do you think? Do you think it's getting better?
Episode 3 really got me kind of hooked.
Yeah,
to the
episode
show.
3 was the best one by far.
Because it had this like super crazy fight scene that I was like, oh man, this show is legit. And Jason Momoa, his fighting skill is way better than his acting skill.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They should have called this show Mute and just had him run around killing people.
Yeah, don't speak, just fight.
But yeah, so C's getting better. Apple TV, they still haven't added much, but I saw a brand new trailer. Have you seen the trailer for the TV show Servant?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, I'm going to tell you and everybody listening, when you're done with this podcast, jump on your interwebs and look up Servant on Apple TV. I'm just going to describe it to you because this is like, I was so thrown by how weird this shit is.
Is it coming out soon or what?
Yeah, I think so. I think the reason they're previewing it because I think it may be a this year, kind of before the end of the year type show.
Oh, okay.
And the concept's just absolutely insane. And it's made by M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh.
Which makes me worried.
So there's a twist.
Well, of course, that's the only thing he does. He'll go out of his way to force a twist on us. So, but it could be that the twist is right at the beginning. I don't know. So here's the concept.
Okay.
It cuts in there. We see this woman's been hired to be the nanny of this couple's baby. It's a middle-aged couple. And they're like, we need you to take care. I can't remember the baby's name. We'll call him Jacob. We need you to watch Jacob for us while we go to work.
Okay.
And so we see a bunch of scenes, and it's weird cuts. So you see the lady kind of touching the baby, handling the baby, and from the weird cuts already, I'm thinking that baby's weird looking. There's something weird about.
Is it baby or how old the baby?
Like baby.
Okay.
Like Yoda, 50-year-old little baby, like
okay.
baby.
Okay.
So it's like a little tiny, like newborn, maybe less than a year kind of baby.
Yeah.
And the next scene in the trailer shows the dad sitting down with the babysitter kind of side without the wife because the we're getting the feeling that she's a little bit different, maybe a little loony.
Okay.
And the husband's like, listen, you don't have to pretend. I know it's really weird that we've hired you to watch Jacob. We know Jacob's not real. And then it cuts to the scene. I can see Ren's face is already like, what the hell? It cuts to the scene and the baby is like this creepy ass like rubber doll. It's not a real baby at all.
Wait. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, so the baby is a rubber doll, and the dad goes on to explain in the trailer, I think to the babysitter and to us, the audience, so we understand what the hell's going on here, that they actually had a baby named Jacob and lost the baby.
Okay.
And during this traumatic part of this woman's life, their therapist or somebody recommended them this doll replacement to help her kind of move past it.
Yeah. Which
clearly she hasn't. But here's the twist, that because you know how like M. Night Shyamalan likes to get real twisty.
Yeah.
The babysitter acts like she doesn't even understand that it's a doll. She goes, "No, it's fine. I like taking care of Jake. We have so much fun." And he's like, the dad's already like, "What the hell's your problem?"
The heck?
He's already married to one psycho, and now he's just hired another psycho.
So she thinks the baby's real too?
Well, I don't know. It's like she doesn't care. So, like, that's what we're trying to find out in this trailer. Like, what is happening?
So is the twist the dad is loony?
Maybe. I mean, I like that you're already trying to guess the M. Night twist before the show's even started. But yeah, I like that show. The trailer was so weird that I'm actually pretty excited to watch it.
Is it a movie or is it like a show?
It's a television show, and then they give you the voiceover. Who have you let into your home? When you kind of learn that the babysitter or the caretaker is just as weird as the mom. And so we're like, I don't know. Who have we let into our home? I got to find out. It's pretty exciting.
I'll have to watch later.
Yeah, I mean,
The Servant
on Apple TV. Check out the trailer when we're done and see how weird that stuff is. Because my last experience with M. Night Shyamalan hasn't been great. I thought that
I know he ruined Avatar.
Why? I never even saw that one because I'm not the anime guy. But I thought that Glass wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it was kind of slow.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, well, that's also on HBO or HBO Max someday if you wanted to watch that. But let's take a moment right now before we talk about... I want to talk about some Netflix, but let's take a moment for a quick commercial. Okay, we're back. So I was mentioning right before we went to break is Netflix, and one of the things that I saw is Netflix, or Stranger Things, has released the name of the first episode of season... Is it season 4? What season are we on?
4.
Season 4. Before I get into what the name of the episode is, what holiday are we going to do? Because we've done Christmas, we did Halloween, and we did 4th of July. What's left? Easter?
Like the major holiday?
Yeah, I mean, every time it's been over a holiday.
Right. Wait, the last one was
4th of July. Because remember, even the poster showed them on their bikes with like the fireworks going off.
Yeah, because the beginning was Halloween, right?
Yeah, no. The first one was Christmas. Remember, because they had the lights that talked to them.
Oh, right.
The second one was
Halloween.
with their Ghostbuster outfits,
Halloween.
which was Halloween. So I'm thinking that either you go Easter, Valentine's Day. I mean,
Thanksgiving.
oh yeah, Thanksgiving. Maybe the monster can come right out of a turkey.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just Arbor Day. some really lame ass holiday nobody cares about. So yes, they are. The first episode is going to be entitled Chapter 1: The Hellfire Club. And any of the listeners out there who are X-Men fans might recognize, because I do, I'm a big X-Men comic dork, that the Hellfire Club was one of the issues of X-Men. So I've noticed and I've heard that the writers of Stranger Things are big-time comic book fans.
Yeah.
So the Hellfire Club, it might be exciting to see what's going to happen. I mean, I'm assuming that the Stranger Thing kids are in fact the Hellfire Club. The last one had similarities to the Phoenix saga, where almost 11 was playing almost the Phoenix type character.
Yeah.
Where she sacrifices herself for everybody, that kind of a thing. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it comes out in 2020. I don't know when though. Have you heard?
I haven't heard.
But I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to do, because Netflix is, for right now, it seems like their big deal is Stranger Things, but they're loading up too. I just recently saw that they have The Witcher, which is a video game that you've played, right?
Yeah. Well, originally it was a book.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
It was a book, and then they made it into a video game, and now they're making it into a show.
Has The Witcher ever been a graphic novel?
I'm not sure.
I'm not
We'll
sure.
have to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, well, check that out. But tell me, what's the basic plot of The Witcher? What's the purpose of it?
Well, if you watch the trailer, because I haven't played the first two because it's kind of like I didn't have time. It's my college years, so
Yeah.
I didn't play. But I played the third one, and this one takes place before the third one. So I mean the show.
Oh, okay. So this is the very beginning.
Yeah.
They're kind of like setting the story for us.
So they're basically like monster hunters, where they go and kill like witches and monsters and stuff like that.
Is The Witcher a person, or like is it like the Mandalorian, like a group?
He's like a Mandalorian type of person.
Okay, almost like for those of you who've seen C, they have the Witchfinders.
Yeah.
Which I just think sounds so cool.
Yeah.
So The Witcher basically is his own Witchfinder.
Yeah, but he has like magical powers too.
Really? What kind of powers does he have?
Like magic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Basically, he's out there just doing tricks, pulling
Yeah.
like rabbits out of a hat.
Yeah, and so like he do like flames and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Like out of what? His hands?
Yeah, because and then he's also, I think they're made into a Witcher. I'm not sure.
Really? So
Because-
the Witcher is a person, and then they create him into the Witcher from being
Yeah.
a basic human.
Yeah, I don't know. I need
He almost looks like an elf in the trailer I saw.
yeah, because he had this like little like animal eyes or something,
Yeah.
And so basically the story goes, there's this girl, right, that's very important, and he needs to go find her because it's like his destiny to protect her, sort of thing.
Oh, of course.
So he goes and finds her, and shit happens.
Yeah.
And so everybody comes after him and stuff like that. So he just has to protect her.
The Witcher stars Henry Cavill, right?
Superman himself.
Superman.
The
Mustache.
stash.
They actually made him shave his stash.
Yeah.
They're not like CGIing his stash out.
Yeah.
So that's good. But he's got like that long, like Legolas, or what's that guy's name from Legolas? I always want to say Legolas.
But he's not a blonde though.
He isn't?
He's it's like
Gray?
gray.
Yeah, he's got long flowing hair. There's one scene in the trailer where he's like chilling in like a tub, and the ladies
Yeah.
are like liking that.
Yeah, that's part of like in the game. It was a whole scene in the game too.
Well, it wasn't, and I've never once played The Witcher, but I remember kind of hearing about it. And wasn't it one of those first games, or one of the games that had some more adult content, where as the player you could choose to like get it on?
Yeah, because in the game, spoiler alert, I chose to sleep with the witch rather than killing the witch.
Right? And that's the wrong thing. That's like the
Well-
evil choice.
Well, I slept the witch, and by doing that, she was able to run away afterwards and destroy the whole village.
Oh damn!
Yeah, and so if you chose to kill the witch,
Yeah.
then you save the village.
So you're like, screw the village. I want to bust a nut. And
Yeah.
you killed everybody. You just let them all die.
and they show you like
Like animated, pixelated boobies.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's rated mature for a reason. It tells you there's nudity. So.
All right. Remind me not to buy that game for my child. His name is Danger, but not that dangerous.
So it's Netflix, so they're gonna show some stuff too.
Right.
Since the game shows stuff.
Netflix doesn't. I haven't really noticed that any of the streaming networks have done anything quite as gratuitous as HBO does. But they definitely obviously don't have the same kind of rules and restrictions that network TV and even the own cable channels kind of regulate themselves to.
Yeah.
But Netflix is really doing their best to keep up with the Joneses. They don't want to get absolutely mauled by Disney Plus with all of their cartoons and stuff like that. Or HBO Max, I saw, got Hanna-Barbera for those older folks who like the Hanna-Barbera type cartoons. Netflix just signed a deal with Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Were you ever a Nickelodeon kid?
I've seen part of it, like a few shows, but I never really got into the whole
Nickelodeon. It's been around forever because it was originally owned by. It may still be owned by like the MTV Group, or whoever that is, Viacom maybe, and it came out when I was young. Even I remember being super into Nickelodeon as a youth, and everybody used to get slimed back. And this is back in the days where it was hilarious to watch people get slimed. And there was like some sort of game show where they all ran around and slimed each other, and I can't even remember. There was You Can't Do That on Television, I think was one of the shows. But then when I really started paying attention to Nickelodeon is when I became an old fart and had a bunch of kids, and all my kids watched Nickelodeon. I think that some of their favorite shows were like SpongeBob and what else is on Nickelodeon? There's a lot of good shows.
Victorious?
Yeah, I think Victorious is one. But anyways,
iCarly?
Oh, iCarly, that's right, with their pair phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they always had the weird pair phones. But Nickelodeon, so has signed an exclusive deal with Netflix to, I think they're going to put reruns of their shows on Netflix. But also what's real exciting is they're going to do a bunch of original content. One of the first ones I think is going to be, did you ever watch Rocko's Modern Life?
No.
Rocco is like a anteater or something, I don't know, and it's it's not really an adult cartoon. It kind of falls in between. I'd say it's a teen cartoon, so they have more adult style jokes, but it's not grotesque like maybe Rick and Morty. They're not dropping the F-bomb, that kind of thing.
Is it like that one horse show?
Like Bojack's?
Bojack?
I've never seen Bojack, so maybe. I don't know, but they're doing a Rocco's Modern Life original movie, which I think a lot of people are excited about because I think the Rocco fans are pretty good. They love Rocco when they can get it. But more exciting for me is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nickelodeon has the rights to that cartoon.
Okay.
And they're going to bring back new original TMT stuff for Nickelodeon. Netflix.
Do they show you like what kind of style they're gonna do it in?
I have no idea. They haven't shown. They've literally just said that they're gonna do it.
Because they've been remade so many times, in different like cartoon styles.
Right. When I was a kid, they were the more kind of bulbous looking turtles, and now they're more angular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool if they do like a live action. Like the old school movies.
Yeah, like
Go Ninja,
Go Ninja, Go. Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go.
Make that a whole series.
Yeah, I'd watch. They should just call it Go Ninja Go.
Yeah.
With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And then Vanilla Ice comes back.
Wasn't there... You're a Power Ranger guy. Didn't the TMT guys, the Ninja Turtles, mix with Power Rangers once?
There was like a crossover. It was Power Rangers in space. And they somehow met each other and they teamed up.
Did they fight each other first, then team up? Typical.
Yeah, because they didn't know who each other was.
Of course.
And it's funny because it was like a Ninja Turtles show, just like the Power Rangers. It was like actual people in costumes.
Wait, I didn't even know that was a thing. So there was a Ninja Turtle show with guys in rubber costumes?
Yeah, there was like a season of it.
Really?
And there was like a chick too, like a
female,
like
turtle?
light blue turtle.
Wow, that's some hot turtle news. I had no idea.
Yeah, so it was a crossover before all the crossover.
The greatest crossover ever. Yeah, that's pretty. I'll have to go check that out on the YouTubes. But that's great. So one of the other things I saw recently, as far as the hot streaming talk goes, a healthy stream here, is I know you like Star Wars, but do you like Star Trek?
I never really watched the shows.
Any of it? Did you watch like any of the newer stuff?
Yeah, with Chris Pine. I've seen the movies, but all the other shows I never really watched it because it was kind of boring to me.
I mean, Star Trek is definitely a different vibe than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars is more like a space cowboy type show, and there's a lot going on. It's kind of silly almost. Whereas Star Trek was definitely a more serious take with, they're discovering things and solving problems, and it's been around since the dawn of time. But I was kind of excited. I haven't really been into a lot of Star Trek either. I've probably seen all the movies, and the recent movies have been pretty good. I think they've been high quality, good acting, cool special effects, another J.J. Abrams thing.
Yeah.
But CBS has their own streaming channel, and they have a couple new Star Trek shows coming out that I'm actually pretty hype about. I'd also recommend maybe looking those up on the YouTubes for their trailers.
Wait, so they're different from the ones they already have now?
Yes, brand new.
Okay.
So 2 brand new Star Trek shows, right? One's a live action, like real Star Trek show.
Yeah.
The other one is an animated series.
Okay.
Which is interesting. So the Star Trek live action one, they're bringing back Captain Picard. Did you ever watch Next Generation?
Yeah. I never watched it, but I know
Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, I've seen, the trailers and the show. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Next Generation was a very successful Star Trek show for all the Trekkies out there. They love it. I mean, I think it was more popular than maybe even the original.
I think when my generation thinks of Star Trek, we think of Professor X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think one of the things that maybe these producers have realized after seeing the Logan movie, where he gets to come back and play the old Professor X.
Yeah.
He did such a good job. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, I love that movie, by the way.
Oh, me too. That's top 10, and maybe if I think about it might even move its way to top 5 superhero movie for me.
I cried a little bit in that movie.
Did you? You teared up?
Yeah.
A little
Got choked up, yeah.
The actor Patrick Stewart, he plays both Professor X and he plays Jean-Luc Picard. And in this new Star Trek, it's actually called Star Trek Picard. So it's exclusive. It's just about him.
Wow.
But the trailer looks great. This is the first time I've been excited for a Star Trek show because they're following kind of that same almost vibe where he's older and kind of tired. Everybody knows he used to be a badass, but not so much anymore. Yeah. And they're all kind of feel bad. He's kind of old and feeble, and it's kind of all about him. I think that from the trailer, it almost looks as if the Star Trek, some of the bigger ups have gone a little bad, and he's gonna kind of break in and fix things again, and so it looks really good. So I'm super excited. I'd recommend anybody go check that trailer out.
So that you say that's on CBS?
Well, it's not on CBS the channel. So this is key. Is CBS the channel, the one we can all get free, over the air?
Yeah.
OTA. It's on CBS streaming network. So that's $5.99 a month. It might be one of those deals where you let the whole thing play out and then get it all at once. Maybe a free trial or something.
And another service you gotta get to.
Another service. But like I said, maybe you only pay the $6 once and you wait for both of these series to be completed and watch them all then.
Are they coming out at the same time?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay.
Don't be a fool. Damn. They're there to make money. Yes, I think Picard comes out first, and then the animated one comes out next.
It reminds me kind of like Star Wars, right? Where there's the movies, and then they make the animated shows too.
Oh, clearly, this is Star Trek's definitely the flip side of the coin to Star Wars. But a lot of times Star Trek people can't be Star Wars fans, Star Wars fans can't be Star Trek fans, and I'm Xbox and PlayStation. I don't care. I like
iPhone,
them all.
Samsung.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why we all have to pick sides. We live in this world where we have to choose sides.
I'm a gray Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
I go light, I go dark.
I like that. It's perfect. We're gray Jedi.
Yeah.
And so, it looks good. The other one that looks good, though, is the animated series is called Star Trek Lower Decks. And what's interesting, you're going to like this. And this is probably the one that might actually make you drop $6 after it's all out to see it.
Okay.
Is it's made by one of the guys that does Rick and Morty.
Really?
Not Dan Harmon, but one of the secondary type producers has left specifically to do Star Trek Lower Decks. And the concept is hilarious. So they've gone the funny route. They're not worried about the seriousness that a lot of Star Trek is. So almost like the Orville.
Is the anime style like Rick and Morty too, or totally different?
No, it's similar but not the same.
Okay.
So if you looked at it, you're like, oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
It's a similar style because they call it Lower Decks. So these spaceships that everybody's on have so many levels, but all we ever see is the main deck with the main characters doing their thing.
Yeah.
We never see what's going on level 6.
Just like the bench warmers, right?
Totally.
Right, okay.
So these are like the scrubs, and even more than them being the scrubs, these are the scrubs on like a Starfleet ship that doesn't do really anything. It's not one that fights stuff. It's one that like delivers crap. They're like the UPS of like Starfleet.
Okay.
And so we get to see their adventures and all the wanky things that go along with them. And it's got that kind of similar humor to what Rick and Morty is, where it's really dry, but it's a like science fiction comedy.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped about that.
And they're going to go a whole season of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently. I mean, that's the idea. I'm pretty excited to see it, you know. There's been so many good trailers on recently. I think maybe because it's getting towards the end of the year or something.
Yeah.
But one of the other ones I saw, I know you saw this one, was Bloodshot.
Yeah, with Vin Diesel.
Number one, just so we're all being fair, I hate Vin Diesel. I think he's a terrible.
Toretto himself. Come on.
Toretto himself. He's a worse actor than Aquaman. He sucks. But Vin Diesel's a star. But however, the comic itself is really cool. I actually have the very first issue of it. I used to read it. It's kind of a off-brand comic book company, and the concept looks pretty cool. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I didn't know who he was, what he is, prior to the
trailer.
The trailer, or you telling us,
Right.
And I saw the comic book. I'm like, okay, it looks pretty cool. Looks like a Punisher looking dude, right?
Yeah.
And then the trailer is like, oh, look, it's Toretto. He's gonna go fight people, and I don't know. You could explain it.
Well, I mean, it's it's pretty basic. He's like some sort of BA, and he dies, and then they bring him back to life and say, "Hey, listen, they're able to like imprint like memories."
Yeah.
And so they implant this memory in him, and it tells him that this bad guy A killed his family, and they want him to go finish him off. So he goes out there, kills these fools, and then as soon as he does, they kill him again.
Well, it's kind of like a shutdown, right?
Yeah, they shut him down, then they bring him back, but they imprint a new memory and say, "This bad guy killed your family."
Yeah.
And so they use him as like a mercenary that they trick into like killing people, because every time they bring him back, he's tricked into thinking someone else killed his family.
So he's like a zombie.
Yeah, he's like confused Punisher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. So it's the same plot as Punisher, except for he's more confused.
So, you have the comic, right? In the comic, he's all like pale white skin.
Right.
With like a big ass red dot.
Red heart.
He looks like he wore like the Japan flag in the costume or something. But in the movie, he's Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I think that they wanted to make it feel more realistic, but I think there's a lot of moments where you see some real comic booky stuff.
Yeah.
He's not a normal human being for sure, because they show some like blood splattering, weird stuff's happening, and it looks kind of unique. Like, I'm interested in it based solely on the fact that it's good source material.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it's freaking Vin Diesel. I mean, he looks the part. He definitely looks like Bloodshot. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of interested in seeing how it goes. I'm assuming without, no spoilers, but my assumption is he figures it out and kills the guys that keep tricking him.
Yeah. Well, you get that from the trailer, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no guessing what's going to happen here, but it looks kind of fun. The other trailer I saw, and I don't know if you saw it, was they've got a brand new Scooby-Doo movie that looks like they put some money into.
I saw a thumbnail of it. I didn't click it.
It's called Scoob, and I'm trying to remember who the star was. It's someone popular, because I was like, what? Because the voices all sound horrible. Like, I think Scooby-Doo. You remember the TV show Last Man on Earth?
Yeah.
What is that actor's name?
Oh, Will Arnett? No, Will.
Oh, we're so close. It's like right there. The guy from Last Man Alive or whatever it was.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up. He is the voice of Scooby-Doo, I believe. And it sounds weird. Like, I really like him, but he doesn't do the best Scooby-Doo impression. And so they go back to basically when he meets Shaggy, and they're like kids this time.
Oh, so it goes back in time.
You're right. It's like, it starts off, oh, Scooby, and Shaggy's like, hey, Shaggy, and they do their whole thing. He's like, row, and they take him back in time.
It's like a pilot then.
Exactly. And so we get this kids movie where they like, and Scooby-Doo is like so much more fluent. It's not just like, row, Raggy. He's like, all of a sudden he can say all sorts of stuff.
You can understand him.
Oh, yeah. He's just like, he's got full sentences going on.
By the way, Will Forte.
Do you have all the actors in that show, or you looked up look up the movie Scoob? I want to know who Shaggy is. I can't remember who Shaggy was. And he's like, oh, Zoinks. I can't do a very good Shaggy. I do okay Scoob, I think. Oh, Raggy. But yeah, so I saw that trailer and it looks pretty terrible. But I'm an old kid that likes Scooby Doo, so I'll probably end up renting it. I don't think that's a theater movie.
Wait, how do you spell Scoob?
It's just SCOOB, Scoob. 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 And this is a hot podcast talk. Listen, spelling words.
Okay, so the cast. Marky Mark's in there?
Wait, which character is Marky Mark?
Blue Falcon.
Oh, Zac Efron. That's it. So Zac Efron plays Fred. Who plays Shaggy? It was someone stupid too. Amanda.
Shaggy is Will Forte.
Oh, wait. Shaggy's Will Forte?
Wait, who are you talking about?
I thought Shaggy was Scooby Doo.
Maybe he plays both.
Oh. Yeah, for some reason I thought Shaggy was Scooby Doo.
So who's Shaggy?
Does it say on the little thing you're looking at who Shaggy is?
Wait, Shaggy is Will.
Yeah. Okay, so who's Scooby Doo? Who's Scooby Doo's voice?
Oh, Frank Welker.
Oh, well, he sucks. He sucks at Scooby Doo. It's not good. And so none of the voices sound quite right. They went too far trying to cast like famous people that you recognize.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that they got Zac Efron, it's pretty hilarious.
Amanda Seyfried's in there?
Yeah. Who was the original last Scooby-Doo movies? It was like Freddie Prinze Jr. or something.
Oh, the old school one? Yeah.
That was hilarious. I remember that. It was cracking me up. But yeah, so that's kind of all I had for some of these trailers that are out there. Well, the other thing I saw, it wasn't a trailer movie, but a product trailer, was for the new Razer phone. Can you believe they're bringing that thing back?
I know, it looks just like the old one.
What's cool about it, though, is it's still a flip phone, but now it's got a touch screen on. When it flips closed, it's got a touch screen on the outside of the flip, and then when you flip it open, it basically looks like an iPhone.
Yeah, it's like an elongated iPhone.
Yeah, I wonder if there's still enough Razer type people out there that they're going to be super into that.
Because, Samsung came out with theirs, but it kind of like failed.
Yeah, they made a foldable phone that like was going to be the next thing, and then it went away.
Yeah.
This is, I'm assuming, because it's a flip phone, it's folding as well, unless it's just a top screen and a bottom screen.
Well, the thing is, they didn't do any PR in it. All of a sudden, just like, hey, we got a new one coming out. Like, whoa, where did this come from? Do we need this?
No, nobody needs this. I mean, I suppose our Star Wars historian still uses a flip phone. Maybe he'll want it.
Oh yeah. He was like, hey, look at this picture, and it's.
It was like on a 1985 flip phone. I'm like, whoa, what are we doing, man? But yeah, so I mean, that was my hot take on the new Razer. There's a lot of things you can do on phones. I mean, one of the things that I've seen on phones recently is Kid Danger, my son, has been recording Fortnite videos.
Oh yeah.
And editing them on his phone, and then he steals music from YouTube, puts the thing on there, and he adds these they're best of videos where he runs around just like all his victory royales.
So it's kind of like a compilation of it?
Yeah, like these compilations. And his first one that he made was called Pooping on Kids. It was killing me. I'm like, this is amazing. I can't wait to see the sequel of Pooping on Kids. Maybe if anybody visits our Twitter account at Audionots, I'll find the Pooping on Kids video and I'll put it up there so you guys can all laugh with me. He's pretty good though. It's incredible how quick these kids' reactions are to these video games.
Is he working on Poop on Kids Volume 2?
I'm pretty sure it's already in. I taught him how to use, he taught himself how to use Adobe Premiere Rush.
Yeah.
And so I think his next video will be even higher quality because the first one was straight up edited on his phone.
Yeah.
He used whatever he had. He managed to steal the music somehow and get it on there. It didn't sound, all the quality wasn't that great.
Hey, the creativity's there though.
The creativity is hot. Yeah. So it turned out pretty good. So I'm excited to see how that finishes out. But, one of the things I want to talk about before we wrap up here real quick is I want to bring up some of my favorite songs and artists I've been listening to. And I call those the Hot Tater Tots. And
is that your playlist?
Yeah, that's my playlist on Spotify. If you want to look at Hot Tater Tots, you can listen to all the junk I listen to. There's thousands. There's you can listen to music for weeks on end. But I know you know this guy. One of my favorite rappers right now that I think has really found his voice is Rich Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Were you gonna go to the Rich Brian concert?
I was, but then I kind of like lagged and didn't buy his tickets.
Missed out on it. This guy is great. Rich Brian, as some of you may know, start out with a different name. I'll let Rin say it.
Well, when he first debuted, his name was Rich Chiga.
And I feel like that's a word I shouldn't even try to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm Asian, so right.
Yeah, so it's okay for
so
you.
I guess it's okay for me to say. Well, he's like a dude from Indonesia.
Yeah.
And dude got like a deep voice.
He's got like a really deep voice. Yeah.
He looks like a little schoolboy.
He's so skinny.
Yeah.
He's skinny and young looking. In fact, I think he is young. He's like 20.
Yeah.
I think because he raps often about how he's not even old enough to drink.
Yeah.
But Rich Brian, he came out with his more gimmicky name. He's clearly almost like a little Dicky type when he first came out. It was almost more gimmicky.
Like a joke.
Yeah. But he was so talented that it was there that I think he must have got with the right producer or something.
Yeah.
In this last album he put out, I can't remember the name of it. It's like Sail or something. It's fantastic. From top to bottom. It's one of the best rap albums of the year. And nobody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about, Kanye West or Chance the Rapper, and those guys are fine. But this is amazing. This guy is the next thing, I think.
Rich Brian, shout out.
Yeah, Rich Brian. If you want to go to Audionots at Twitter and hit us up, feel free. But yeah, so my first recommendation for anybody who's not already listening to Rich Brian is Rich Brian's newest album is fantastic. You got to listen to it. He interlaces a lot of really good music that sounds older, almost like Beatles style sounds that he's rapping over. Yeah. And it's so well done. It's so lush, filled with a lot of good tones. I'm super into it.
Yeah, and you go look at his picture, like, wait,
you're like, that's not the guy.
This guy's rapping this? No way.
He could walk through a mall and nobody would harass him.
Yeah,
0.
Yeah, except us though.
Except for us. So if you're not on the Rich Brian tip, get on it. He's fantastic. The next one I have is an even lesser known rapper. This guy's more local. We mentioned last episode how we're from Oregon.
Yeah.
This guy, he's right out of Seattle, so he's right local.
He's like our neighbor then.
Yeah, and I went and saw him in concert, and it was pretty great. And you would also never guess that this guy's a rapper. His name, he doesn't even have a rap name. That's how unrappy he is.
That's just his name, right?
Just his name.
Yeah,
his name is Travis Thompson. And Travis Thompson is also fantastic. So where Rich Brian has kind of found his sound recently, and I would really only recommend his newest music.
Yeah.
Travis Thompson has kind of been hot from the get. I would recommend Travis. You go hop on Spotify, look up Travis Thompson. All of his songs are pretty fire, and I think he got his big break. He just recently signed because he's so like unrecognized right now that he just recently signed with a big label because he was on a Macklemore song.
Yeah, because they're from the same area, right?
Yeah, they're from the same area.
Yeah.
So he kind of sung the hook on a Macklemore song.
Yeah.
And that's how I think he got more famous.
But he's a rapper / singer.
Yeah, so Travis Thompson also doesn't look like your typical rapper. He's a little short, fat, white kid. Super fun. I watched him do a concert in Portland, and I thought he did a super good job. But man, do you like Travis?
I like Travis.
Yeah, Travis is good. I don't know that he's as good as Rich Brian as far as talent, but he's so good that he should be more famous.
Right.
His talent level isn't equal to his fame level. So let's give him some listens. I love us some Travis Thompson. The next one that I wanted to bring up, because I like bringing up these groups, bands, and musicians that no one's heard of, is a guy by the name of Orville Peck. Now, Orville Peck's a weird one. Orville Peck, I would almost compare him, not vocally, but looks to like a Sia. He doesn't want people to know who he is, and he wears a cowboy hat, and he's got this like chandelier flory thing like hanging in his face.
Yeah, it's like wearing like a beard.
Yeah, it's really weird. He's openly gay, which is cool for especially the country scene. I'm all inclusive. I say let's go. And but while he's openly gay, he doesn't want people to know who he is, and it's not because he's gay. It's because apparently he's part of a bigger band out of Canada.
Yeah.
So if we probably did some research, we figured out which. I think it's an alternative band. hot alternatives coming out of Canada, we could probably figure out what band this guy's from.
Yeah.
But Orville Peck is another one that it's not your typical country, because I'm not a big. Are you a big country guy?
A little bit. Well, he's more like borderline, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Borderline. He's more like folk Americana style. It's slower, but it's really well produced. You can tell he's definitely from a bigger band. He's got a great vocals.
Yeah.
But I dig it. I mean, and everybody should jump on the Orville Peck train, because it's weird and fantastic.
And he looks weird.
Yeah, even if you don't like his music, look up his picture. It's a strange thing.
You're like, what the heck?
And then my last hot tot for today, before we wrap it up for the day, is a guy by the name of Mark Ribellet. I think that's how you say it. It might be Rebellet. I don't know. But I actually found this guy. He's much smaller. Like, I'm moving down the list and they're getting less and less known.
Yeah, I don't even know who he is.
So Mark Ribellet is he's like a Reddit guy. So he does, I think he's on Twitter, Reddit, and I don't know.
Oh, I remember this guy. You mentioned it one time.
Yeah, I was going to go to his concert too. I still might. I think he might still be coming. So his whole deal is he gets online and does like live streaming.
Yeah.
And the viewers can jump on there and ask him, like, give him topics, and he'll sing about it. He's a fantastic musician. He's really good at the piano. He does vocals, but he makes up the lyrics on the spot, makes up the music on the spot, whether it's like a soul song or a rap song or whatever you want. He's another, like, you would never guess this guy's a musician. He's this like skinny white guy with big fat glasses. It's just really strange, but it's hilarious. And now he's taking a tour where he's going around city to city, and I believe he's going to be in Portland soon.
So you as the audience can yell out stuff?
Yeah,
he'll
for sure.
sing about it?
Look up on YouTube. You can see the videos of it, and people yell stuff out. Like, so in the last, I'm gonna get a little graphic here if the kids are listening. On this last concert, one of the fans yelled, "I want you to fuck my wife." And he says, "You want me to what?" He's like, "I want you to fuck my wife." And he's like, "I can't believe you said that." And then he grabs like his thing and goes, "Want to fuck your wife?" And everybody starts chanting. It was incredible. It's the kind of thing that's audience participation. Everybody's having a good time. It's all for fun. And he's just so talented. I'm not sure this guy could make a real song because it's all weird. He's on Spotify, but I'm not sure it plays as well on Spotify.
Well, it makes it interesting because like his concert would be one of a kind.
For sure,
right?
yeah.
Every city he goes to, one of a kind.
Completely different.
Okay.
And so I highly recommend checking out Mark Ribellet, and I think his name is spelled Rebillet. Check him out on the social media. But best case, if he's coming to your town, go see him live, because you get a few drinks in you, you're gonna have a good time for sure. I guarantee you, that's a good time.
What would you yell out?
I don't know, well, not that, but I don't know. I'd be like, tell him that Audionots rules. Or maybe we should contact him, because here's the thing. This guy is so small brand. Like, he's like on our level, but way more talented than us. Like 1,000 times more talented than us. He puts his phone number, his real phone number, on his live streams. So you can just call him. How about this? Here's what I promised the audience. I'm going to call him before the next podcast and ask him if he'll make a song, because that's some of the things he does too. Oh, yeah. If he'll make a song for our podcast. He'll probably tell us to step off, or maybe he'll ignore me completely, but I'll try. Why not?
I mean, he put it to the public for a reason, right? For
he wants it. Yeah. Now, whether he wants to help us be cool or not, I don't know.
Well, we're a podcast. All right, let's do it.
But yeah, I mean, do you have any new music that you're listening to you want to share?
Well, right now I'm kind of like into this chick, right? Her name is Doja Cat.
Oh my gosh, I know Doja.
Well, the first time she like kind of debuted was like a gimmicky.
Yeah, it was almost like Rich
joke.
Brian.
Yeah. Maybe we have a theme here. We like weird music.
They start off kind of silly, but they're so talented that they have to become legit.
She had like a cow music, like moo.
Yeah,
like
moo.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious. But if you listen to her like more actual songs, she's really talented. She has like a little Nicki Minaj in there. She raps. She has a little Rihanna in there.
Right.
And and then she's like alternative too.
She's a hot too.
Yeah.
She's very photogenic.
And her new album, she has a song featuring Gucci Mane too.
Okay, so she's starting to see mainstream.
Yeah.
So that's an excellent pick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there you go. Rich Brian, Travis Thompson, Mark Rubelet, Orville Peck, and Doja Cat.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the ones you haven't heard of. Maybe we should call this segment, You Haven't Heard, But You Should.
Yeah.
You heard now. So, yeah, check them out. They're fantastic. And I think with that, we're going to kind of wrap it up. I just want to remind everybody to tell your family and friends to check us out. We got lots of cool, fun things happening along the way. You can listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, and Radio Public. You can find us on the social medias at Audionots on Facebook and Twitter, and Audionots Podcast on Instagram. We look forward to checking in as often as we can, and we will catch you on the flip side. See ya.
See ya.
This show gives me erectile function.